Hi, my name is Cold Beer, and let's start with Thief Simulator 2. It is time for you to become a thief. Steal from the rich, commit some burglaries, live the life of your dreams. No matter what others say, always keep in mind that every profession is honorable. Also, before committing to crime full-time, you can also try this game. People are saying that it will seriously teach you a thing or two. Although keep in mind that a thief's trade is not just an easy jog in the park. In order to get some practice, you will start with petty theft. This is how you'll gain the experience required to access more and more risky and, most importantly, more profitable jobs. You will gain levels, unlock new opportunities and get new useful tools. You know, every modern thief must have modern tools from AliExpress. As developers say, it's not only a crowbar and binoculars, but also an advanced equipment that becomes available as you progress, such as a laptop for hacking through security systems. I never knew that special laptops for hacking existed, but well, who am I to disagree? People on Steam are saying that this game will tickle your adrenal glands, so maybe don't drink too much coffee before playing. Gordian Quest. In this card game, you will lead heroes on an adventure to save what's left of the fallen world and destroy the root of evil. This is an epic deck-building RPG inspired by old-school classics like Ultima and D&D, but as it is popular nowadays, it is using gaming concepts like roguelite and turn-based strategic combat. You will form parties of heroes whom you will have to lead and manage on difficult missions, help them forge bonds and discover new skills among them. You will also find a campaign mode and venture through 4 acts, also roguelite mode and 10 different heroes, each with their own unique class, skills and playstyle, also various difficulty levels and tons of loot. Art-wise, game is great as well, and it is an owner of a very positive review score on Steam. Planet of Lana. A really beautiful platformer with hundreds of tiny details that make it pop out of the other similar projects. Here, a planet that used to be a place of undisturbed balance between human nature and animal now has become something else entirely. The disharmony that had been in the making for hundreds of years has finally arrived in the form of faceless army. But this is not a story about war. This is a story about a vibrant, beautiful planet and the journey to keep it that way. The game looks like someone crossbred Miyazaki's movies with Star Wars, and that is never a bad thing. Space Haven. Here you will embark on a space voyage with your crew of civilians in search for a new home. You will build spaceship tile by tile, create optimal breathing conditions, manage the needs and moods of your crew and encounter other space exploring groups. Here you will have a complete freedom to build a spaceship or a station of your own desire. You can place every piece of ship hull, walls, doors and facilities wherever you want. And all this stuff has a purpose. Crew members will sleep in beds, use toilets, be disturbed by a noisy room and praise you for an arcade machine. By the way, I mentioned breathing conditions not by accident. That is a huge part of the game. You will have to keep optimal oxygen and CO2 levels by building life support modules and contain hazardous gases. So, that dude who farts a lot, is he worthy of another air purifier, or maybe, just maybe you can just toss him out of the airlock? A food for thought. Game has very positive reviews and is constantly updated. Bendy and the Dark Revival. The second part of Bendy and the Ink Machine was released 5 years after the success of its predecessor, and surprisingly it is even more loved by the puzzle and horror fans than the first part. On Steam it is close to an overwhelmingly positive title, and that is a thing you cannot ignore. Here you will play as Audrey as she explores the depths of a creepy animation studio that's gone completely mad, just like your alcoholic Uncle Steve who believes that Earth is in the shape of a vodka bottle. Yeah, flat earthers are such a thing of the past. Anyway, he will combat ink-tainted enemies, solve puzzles and evade an ever-lurking ink demon while seeking your way back to the real world. You never know who or what is going to be around the next corner in this crazy realm of shadows and ink. Like in the first part, you will have to discover the truth, escape the studio and above all fear the ink demon and survive. A wonderful game for your spooky evenings. Airborne Kingdom. This is a sky city builder where you grow a unique town among the clouds, build housing, satisfy needs and grow your clan. Maintain lift, balance weight and be careful not to run low on fuel while you fly it across a wide open landscape which changes with every playthrough. So as you can imagine, this is mostly a management game that will take all your attention. You will search for resources, find lost technologies and discover the fate of the ancients. Well, honestly, nothing good ever happens when someone has to to use the word fate in your description. You know, for example,
the fate of that boy
will never mean that he achieved greatness. More likely he was eaten by a shark, or
the fate of that country.
Yeah, probably bombed by nuclear devices rather than achieved prosperous democracy and wealth. So the fate of the ancients, you know, expect that the worst happened to them. Not necessary though, but very likely. Anyway, here while discovering everything, at the same time gain allegiance with the ground kingdoms and help them find artifacts, construct monuments and build trade routes. Your guidance can propel an era of harmony. But knowing you will probably crash into some thriving city and kill thousands of innocent people instead. Yeah. Dystopika. A massive treat for every Blade Runner fan, although they don't even mention the movies in the description because of obvious copyright issues. Despite that, the game lets you build futuristic cities very similar to those we saw in the movies. Here you'll place buildings, giant billboards and massive holograms. You won't find any goals, there are no objectives, no wins or losses. The game wants you to relax and embrace your creative cyberpunk mood. People on Steam are very happy with this game. They not only awarded this gem with an overwhelmingly positive reviews, but they are saying that this is a game you just can't stop playing. One more building, one more tweak, one more hologram and one more once again, just to make your amazing city a bit better. And yeah, why not make a masterpiece, then take a screenshot, print it, frame it and hang it on your wall. That would be a perfect modern piece of art that no one else has. The Gunk. This is an action-adventure game in which you play as one of two gritty space holes. As you are struggling to bring in funds, you chance upon an untouched planet brimming with life. You came in search of valuable resources and it looks like you hit the jackpot. But as you uncover the dormant secrets of a shattered civilization, you must battle the curse of a toxic gunk parasite. You will use your trusty power glove to reverse the corruption, uncover secrets of old and heal the planet. Also experience the evolving relationship of the crew as you explore this unique world. The game has a very positive review score, so it may be a good choice for your evening. The Expanse, a Telltale series. If you like science fiction but never watched the Expanse TV show, well, you should. These are one of the best sci-fi series ever made. Although at first you may be overwhelmed by the count of the characters and political intrigues, don't give up. The show really delivers if you stick to it. And this is Telltale's take on this wonderful world and story. Here you'll explore the dangerous and uncharted edges of the belt. From scavenging wrecked ships in zero-G environment to surviving a mutiny or fighting fearsome pirates, you will have to make difficult choices and then suffer the consequences. You will scour shipwrecks, use magnetic boots to walk on walls and ceilings, and utilize zero-G thrusters to flow through the void. As you explore mysterious ships and the open expanse of space, you will interact with objects in the world and speak with members of your crew. The game consists of 5 episodes, so plenty of mind food for you. Killing Floor 2. Here you'll descend into continental Europe, where the outbreak caused by a failed experiment has quickly spread and gained unstoppable momentum, essentially paralyzing the European Union. Well, that sucks, I live here. The monster clones are everywhere and civilization is in disarray. Communications have failed, governments have collapsed, and military forces have been systematically eradicated. The people of Europe know survival and self-preservation too well, and lucky survivors have gone into hiding. Well, all except you and your friends. You kill the monster scum and make Europe great again. You'll find a bunch of playable characters in online co-op mode, or solo mode if you are willing to brave the horrific mutants alone. Also, the game has cool versus survival game mode, a 12-player PvP match where 2 teams take turns playing humans versus monsters. The game has around 90% of positive reviews, so it's probably the shooter you were looking for. Old World. A really nice game for Civilization and Crusader Kings fans. It is an historical strategy game where you lead your empire through multiple generations, building a grand legacy to last beyond your own years. Here, each of the 7 kingdoms has 4 noble families that provide various benefits when put in charge of your cities. So you will obviously have to marry for politics, raise your heirs, and manage your relationship with the other influential noblemen of your kingdom. So like in that movie I never saw with Vin Diesel, family is what matters here, and if you want to be a strong ruler, your family must be strong as well, so probably marriages between cousins or brothers and sisters here and there is what you actually want. You may think that this is just a simple clone of Civilization, but the game actually takes about 40 hours to beat and contains 3000 unique events inspired by history and mythology. Review score hovers around 80% of positivity, so despite some minor things, all is good in this field. GTFO. This is a 4-player cooperative game. Good news for you, since you are obviously short of friends, the vacuum of your life can be filled with bots here. Playing with them can be irritating at first, but when you learn their mechanics, it's actually quite fun.
Said every lonely person ever.
Oh, shut up. Of course, game developers still recommend playing with real people since the game requires a level of communication and tactical combat, and a good strategy is necessary to win the game. Many of the creatures of GTFO are suspended in state of hibernation, so light, noise and vibrations can easily wake these sleepers up. Better leave your multi-purpose noisy vibrating flashlight at home, so if one of the creatures knows you are there, they all know. Be cautious when deciding on shooting. This game will truly test your patience, since it is a hardcore shooter and it doesn't have a difficulty setting. Although despite the fact that the graphics and atmosphere are amazing, GTFO can become quite repetitive rather quickly. Amnesia, the bunker. If you played Alien Isolation, then you know the drill here. There is a monster and it's chasing you. The bunker is a way smaller game than Alien Isolation, but it dwells on the same idea of an elusive monster inhabiting the same place as you. And if in Alien Isolation you found yourself in a giant space station, here you are trapped in a cramped underground tunnel net under the battlefield of the First World War. Don't forget that creators of Amnesia Frictional Games were the pioneers of horror games without weapons. Remember Penumbra? Yeah, that was a gem. So I have no doubt that developers of Alien Isolation took inspiration from the Frictional Games while creating their weaponless Xenomorph game. And now Frictional Games took inspiration from Alien Isolation's monster. The circle has closed. The game is really fun, although after seeing the monster a few times, it becomes less scary. So it becomes really playable by various pussies like us. It's a wonderful survival game, and if you like the concept, you are up for a treat. Lies of P. In this Souls-like game, you are a puppet who's caught in a web of lies with monsters and untrustworthy figures. You are awakened by a mysterious voice that guides you through a plagued city of Krat, a once lively place that has been poisoned by madness and bloodlust. If this description reminds you of your ex, then all good, you are half ready for the adventure. Here you will develop a unique combat style to counter your enemies by weaving together dynamic weapon combinations and activating new abilities. Lies of P is a reimagined fairy tale of Pinocchio, reinterpreted as a dark, grim narrative. You know, a Pinocchio for adults. When you lie, it's not the nose that's growing. If you add another P to the name of the game, you will understand what I have in mind. No, really, nothing like that, it's a joke. I played the demo version of the game and all I gathered was, again, that I suck at Souls-like games and I shouldn't even touch them. If you are like me, avoid this title. Few hits from big enemies and you are dead, and you will have to replay the whole chapter again. If that doesn't scare you, keep in mind that the game has around 90% of the positive review score and is probably a thing you want to try. Dandy Ace. So Dandy Ace is a fast-paced roguelike experience hugely inspired by Hades, but not blindly copying it. Here you'll become a fabulous magician seeking to combine and use your magical cards while fighting and looting your way to defeat the green-eyed illusionist who has imprisoned you in a cursed mirror.
Ooh.
While battling your way through this ever-changing place, combine different cards with more than 1,000 possibilities, each with their own playstyles and powers. People on Steam are saying that the game is quite difficult, but has great visuals and the gameplay itself is very entertaining. Dandy Ace has a very positive review score on Steam, so it may be the game you are looking for. Slime Rancher 2. It seems that the second part of Slime Rancher is just as a hit as the first one, and more than 90% of positive reviews won't let me lie. Here you'll continue the adventures as you journey to Rainbow Island, a mysterious land brimming with ancient technology, unknown natural resources, and an avalanche of wiggling, jiggling new slimes to discover. As you attempt to unravel the island's secrets and uncover its true purpose, you will build, ranch, and farm within a beautiful conservatory whose sparkling glass walls give you a a full view of the prismatic paradise you now call home. So collect slimes never seen before on the far range. You know, like the bouncy cotton slime or the aquatic angler slime or a potato salad slime. Well, no, that even sounds wrong. No slime on my potato salad, please. Smalland, survive the wilds. You'll traverse puddles as big as a lake, scale skyscraper-sized trees and scramble through cavernous cracks in roads as you explore a huge open world from a new perspective. Well, honestly, we all saw this in Grounded already, but that game is obviously oriented to a younger audience, and Smalland is more like a traditional open-world RPG with heavy crafting and survival elements. Yeah, keep that in mind. The game is filled with various challenges. The squirrel gangs that see you as a walking peanut can be a little overwhelming and add an unexpected twist to your tiny adventures. One of the coolest things is that you can ride various creatures, and not only on the ground, there are plenty of flying mounts as well. And for me, after flying for countless hours in Hogwarts Legacy, it's very hard to go back to any game that doesn't have this feature. Anyway, you can play the game alone or with friends. Also, if you are afraid of spiders, fair warning, you are a pussy. I'm kidding, I just wanted to stress out that here you will encounter some realistically looking and moving spiders that may not be compatible with your raging arachnophobia. Hellslave. An interesting game for the fans of Darkest Dungeon. Here the world is coming to an end and humanity is on the brink of extinction. A very original and innovative plot never heard before. So you will have to save humanity from a demon invasion by making a pact with the devil and praising one of 6 demons to avoid humanity's demise into darkness. You will have to use your newly acquired demonic power against the invaders, but it may have a bigger impact on you than you thought. You'll customize your character around a passive skill tree, discover and experiment with dozens of traits and demonic powers. Also find great synergies between skills and achieve destructible combos to send your adversaries back to hell, or just to hell if they were never in hell before. You know, just to make things clear. People on Steam are saying that the game has an amazing art style, dark and gritty theme and amazing first act, but it lacks polish and may become a bit boring over time. Despite that, the price is quite nice, and if you are a fan of these dungeon crawlers, it may be a good game for you to try. Terminator Dark Fate Defiance. This is a real-time strategy game that follows the war between humanity and Legion's synthetic intelligent machine network. And Legion is another AI that emerged after Skynet was erased from existence. You know, the franchise needed an enemy, and to be honest, new enemy is always better than...
Somehow Palpatine returned.
So in the campaign you will take the role of a commander in the Founders, a force made up of the remnants of the US military. You will guide your army in an attempt to mess a little with the Legion's plan to exterminate the last remnants of humanity. So in this near future, both in game timeline and in our real world probably as well, you will have to show that evil ChatGPT who the real boss is. And in skirmish and multiplayer modes you can choose one of 3 very diverse factions: Founders, Movement and Legion itself. You will often use the battlefield to your advantage. Physics-based building demolition lets you generate a realistic set of tactical consequences, especially in urban areas. Your resources here are limited, so every obstacle can serve to your advantage. People who play the game are agreeing that this is a very focused RTS, with challenging tactical mechanics and great storyline. The downside is that Terminator Dark Fate Defiance punishes you for mistakes a bit too harshly, and it is quite buggy. But developers are constantly, at least when I wrote the short review, updating the game and fixing various stuff, so it will only get better. Batman, the Telltale series. You'll make discoveries that will shatter Bruce Wayne's world and the already fragile stability of a corrupt Gotham City. Also, your choices will determine the fate of the Batman. Just like in Telltale's The Walking Dead series, here you can choose your own adventure and dive deep into this cool visual novel. The game includes 5 episodes, and as people on Steam are saying, this is a great adaptation with interesting characters of the Batman franchise. Voice acting is nice, the script is engaging, and if you like games like that, it's almost a must-play. You know, seriously, there aren't many great visual novels you can play, especially not on this level. One nitpicky thing that may discourage you is that if you choose a non-violent path, the game will probably fail to react accordingly in several situations, so just beat everyone and enjoy the story. Age of Darkness Final Stand. Since that StarCraft mission I played 20 years ago where I had to hold my base intact against a never-ending Zerg attack, this concept landed in a warm place in my cold beard heart. Later I have played countless maps like that on StarCraft 2, and then There Are Billions was released. I enjoyed the game, it was so fun to play, but I was slightly disappointed as well, because it lacked unit types and was kinda repetitive. Age of Darkness is a bit different. It has a technology allowing over 70,000 swarming AI units on screen at the same time. Also day and night transitions and more defensive unit types than They Are Billions had. The downside is that some people are complaining that campaign missions are bugged and sometimes the game just crashes. In survival mode it is a way better experience. Although the game is in early access, don't expect miracles. Anyway, defending from hordes of nightmares is a very satisfying experience. And yeah, that sounds nice, but we all know how this gameplay will go for you. You'll see some zombies breaching your walls and then you'll be like,
This is fine.
and after a moment you'll just rage quit. And now thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.